Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Spiritual Dowsey. I'm Dowsey LeMay. I hope all you beautiful souls out there are doing okay wherever you are in the world. If you're having a tough time, know that you're not alone, that you're loved, and I'm sending you a big virtual hug of love and light, and I hope that helps you as you move forward. So today we're doing the energy update for February 2021, or the insight into the energies you may be dealing with as a creator. Obviously, these are my truths, my experiences that have guided me down my own spiritual path. They don't have to be yours, so please use your own discernment, take what resonates with you, and leave the rest. Okay, so a big theme over the idea of February and the energies you're going to be playing around is the number 7. From numerology standpoint, number 7 is about seeking the truth and finding the answers. Some of that is through the wisdom of going inward and finding that with yourself, and that means we're going to be spending a lot more time with ourselves, because what is occurring on a thematic level is that we need to be able to look beyond the obvious, look beyond what is projected to us from the surface level, because there is, I would say, some level of deceit, some level of the truth being spun in a way that isn't for your highest good, and it's really going to require you to use your discernment and to avoid being hijacked into agendas that aren't for your highest good. A second theme is a continued bifurcation and shifts within our reality. And lastly, I want to say the third and last theme is about the elements of stirring up. What I mean by that is the earth, water, air, and fire, as well as your spirit, is starting to stir up. And what we're going to see is basically, if you think about the element of water, right, you've had all this settlement that's kind of settled down at the bottom, and the energies are stirring the back up. And what we're going to be dealing with is an emotional stir up that many of us are going to be going through this month. So let's talk about the first theme. There is a obvious energetic that feels like there is like things are being presented to you in your reality, and this is collective and individually. Collectively and individually, we are being presented stuff that feels like it's obvious. It feels like it's the surface projection of what the truth is, but underlying it is not. There's a spin to the truth, there's deceit, there is self-interest that's playing out, and that really, really requires you to look at what is occurring, what you're seeing, and what you're integrating, and deciding whether or not that is true for you. If you are not balanced within your energetic field, emotionally, mentally, feminine, masculine, mind, heart, logic, intuition, you are going to get hijacked into agendas that aren't going to be for your highest good. So what we're going to be seeing is a lot of different stories pulling you in many different directions. And if you aren't balanced, you're going to be hijacked to that. And so individually, you also have to ask yourself this question as well. Are you the one being deceitful? Are you the one holding on to energetics that aren't truly truthful, that don't hold the whole truth, and you're spinning it, and you're spinning the story to better your own position, or because of your self-interest within it? It's time for you to own up to that identification. Are you the one being deceitful, or are you the one being deceived by somebody? The only way you're going to get the truth in that, the only way you're going to find the answers to that question, is by going inward and truly being honest with yourself. This is all about a time where you're going to spend a lot more time alone dealing with your own stuff, integrating what you know through your own energetic field to find where the grain of truth is for you, so that you can go forward. I talked about this in the beginning of the year. The only thing that's going to be resilient, the only thing that's going to help you carry you through 2021 are things that are going to be resilient. And that happens to be the truth and what you hold as high vibrational truth or beliefs that have resiliency into that, right? So you're going to have to rely on that and go inward and spend more time through your energetic field to sift out all the stuff that don't really sit well with you, that don't resonate with you, so you can find the truth and you can move forward in a fashion or desire that best suits you as you go forward. Because emotional hijacking is occurring. Emotional hijacking is occurring all over the place. And what do I mean by that? Many of us are holding on to traumas, repressed emotions, things that we have not wanted to deal with, that we've been hiding from, things that we don't like about ourselves, whether it be betrayal, feeling hurt, feeling not loved, feeling unworthy, feeling lack, fear, those kind of things. Those headline news, things that people are telling you, the stories that are being projected onto you are playing to those energetic emotions that you don't like. And it's causing you to kind of fall into this agenda. And what we need to do is look at our own pain, our own suffering, our own traumas first, heal that energy so that we can find the grain of truth within the story. If there is any truth, if there's not and it doesn't resonate with you, fine, move on, go forward and just blow that off because it doesn't sit with you any longer. That's what I mean by hijacking. With someone who says, hey, you feel like a victim, and they come up with a story that says, hey, if we don't do this, you're going to be left in this, whatever, playing to that victim card, and you're going to get angry and you're going to fall in line with this particular story, and that's going to cause more separation in our reality, causing you to fall into an agenda that may not be for your highest good. All right. So that's one thing you really got to be mindful of as we go forward around February. The second thing is bifurcation and shifts within our reality. I want to make sure you understand that I'm not doing this out of fear. I'm not saying that we are trying to separate more. I'm just saying that people are putting their consciousness in different areas, and there's pockets of our collective, mainly two different pockets of our collective, that are spinning their energetics in one direction or projecting their quantum field in one direction versus another group. So what we're seeing is a bifurcation of the energetics going forward. And some of that happens to be in a negative type of energetics, and the other one happens to be more of a positive type of energetics. And you're kind of seeing that play out right now in our collective. I can talk about several different things. You can talk about the financial system, especially what's happening with GameStop and the whole investments of shorting the stock, and how one group of the collective, which happens to be the people, are fighting against another set of collective, which is around the institutional billionaire type of club. Then you have what you have with the things around COVID and the mask and what's actually happening there. And then you think about the political realm, right? We are seeing vast difference of society, right? We're seeing duality play out. And depending on what energy you're holding on to, you're going to see continued bifurcations of the truth. In fact, one person will be sitting on one side of the fence and saying, how can you be so delusioned in your side of the fence and seeing all those things you believe in while the other group is saying the exact same thing to the other group? That's the bifurcation and the mirroring that we're seeing within our collective, as well as in individual reality. So just be extremely mindful that for you to be able to find out which side you're on requires you to go inward, requires you to look at yourself, requires you to heal and integrate your energies, balance out the divine masculine and feminine, and to look at what is truthful for you. Only way that can be done is seeking the answers through you, nowhere else. That's why the news is so different. That's why there's such deep contrast between everything. And that's why there feels like there's two different worlds occurring at the same time, even though we're all collectively here on this planet. All right. The last thing I want to say is that the elements are going to continue to stir up, right? So what I mean is that we're starting to see probably extremes in the weather, extremes in the elements, fires. We're going to see water movement, maybe colder air or gusting winds, or the earth starts shifting and volcanoes, etc. Mother Earth, the planet that we exist on, are going to start to stir up a little bit more. And that also means from an individual mirrored as above, so below within yourself, you're going to start seeing a stir up. So I want you to think primarily around the water element here, and water element really being around the emotional body. Many of us are going to basically go through a spiritual growth initiation with your emotional body. And what many are going to go through this month, if you're haven't already been feeling it, is that there's going to be a rising in your world that's going to evoke the emotional reactions and challenges to your beliefs and your opinions. And you may not feel like you are in control at all. It's going to feel like a stormy sea, and you are basically a little boat that's being tossed around. All of this, I want you to keep in mind, all of this is basically an initiation for your spiritual growth. You are moving forward. You are learning lessons, and you are growing spiritually. And it's part of the process. As I talked about, is that imagine a lake that has been sitting there, and all the sediment has finally dropped down the ground, dropped down to the bottom of the lake. And the lake looks pretty clear, right? So what's happening is it's just another level of stirring up. It's stirring up all the muck again to clear out more of the sediment, to clear out more of these densities, so that by the time it's done and it settles again, you're going to be so much more clear and bigger, and a clear conduit, a larger conduit, a conduit that allows a lot more bandwidth and clarity communication with your higher self and that of source energy or your guides, of pure love, joy, peace, happiness, to be able to radiate that within your own reality, but as well as to everywhere else. Just understand that the sudden changes that you're experiencing, the craziness, the death-like cycles that are occurring in your reality, the attachments that need to be let go and to die, and whether that be your choice or by the force of the energy that's coming to you, whether that be voluntary or involuntary, these things are not by accident. They are through your divine choice and timing for you to be initiated into a higher level of your spiritual growth. It is needed to clear things out, to make what you thought was clear a clear conduit for spirit and for the energy and for love to be embodied, to be radiated, and to be pushed out into the collective. That is going to be very difficult. You're going to feel like you're out of control. You're going to feel like things are right in your face and you're not going to be breathing. You're going to see the spiritual reality of what the spiritual growth and spiritual path is, which is this ugly, sobbing, crying, painful inner look at yourself. So remember, the whole idea of what 2021 is going to be is about shifting and changing to match into the resilient energy of what you desire, which is the betterment of humanity around joy, peace, and love. That comes through a lot of shifting and changing. And right now we're going to be going through a process of inner seeking and inner knowing, and to dive deep within ourselves as we're seeing these sudden changes, sudden shifts, the death process playing all out for us to initiate through the emotional body a new level of our spiritual growth. So again, big themes. Understanding that wisdom and truth is only going to be seen through you, and you got to look through the obvious. You got to look beyond the surface level, because there's deceit happening, there's self-interest happening on the collective level, but as well as personal. So where are you? Are you being the one deceitful? Are you the one being self-interest, spinning your stories to better advance your life, or are you being the one being deceived? Right. Then what we're having is a lot of continued bifurcations and shifts. You can see that playing all out. It's happening everywhere. The education system, the financial system, the health system, the government system, etc. And then lastly, the elements are stirring up. You're going to see that in Gaia. You're going to see on the planet Earth. And then individually, we are going to see a stir up in our water element around the emotions. And that is our initiation for continued spiritual growth, to become a clearer conduit and understand that what is happening is part of faith. It is part of what is needed to make you a stronger, better person, to move into a state of being for your highest good as you go forward. So I hope that helps you. Wherever you guys are, feel free to reach out to me. Know that I love you, and we're all in this together, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.